You know, honestly, like, what is your expectation as a buyer? Is people are living in a very right now world, right? Mm-hmm. Our phones, like, everything we want is at our hands, and so when you see, and I've discussed this.
What, HGTV?
The HGTV.
The HGTV effect.
That's what I call it.
Yeah.
So we see literally months of work take place in a 30
Crammed
minute.
into 30 minutes.
Yeah, a 30-minute segment. And then so the HGTV effect is consumers. I'm a consumer. You're a consumer. We consume these things and we say, oh man, like that happened. They got all of this done and they had all of these things, and it's semi-reality TV. I mean, so what you're not seeing is how many homes
they actually went through.
Yes, exactly.
How much they disagreed, how much being aware of whatever their local market is, and like finally accepting that. Like, you can't change the market. I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't understand. Like,
right.
As unique as we are as individuals with our experiences and the way that we look and the things we like and all that kind of stuff, like, you're not unique when you go to put in that offer.
Right.
like you're one of many. That's the market we're in. You're one of many, and they're going to do, as a seller, what makes their bottom line feel and be the best.
Right.
There will be roadblocks. Like, that's the number one caution. You're not going to eliminate all roadblocks. I cannot eliminate that for you. She cannot eliminate that for you.
If someone's telling you that they can, they're lying to you.
Yeah, they're absolutely lying. So, because there's always the other, there's the seller, there's the other agent that you're working with. And not that these people are bad people, but once you get a lot of cooks in a kitchen, then there's always room and variables for misunderstandings, for delays, for all sorts of things. So there will never not be roadblocks, but what can buyers do to eliminate as many of those roadblocks that are in their control?
A seller is not going to look at it if you don't have proof of funds or pre-approval. And by proof of funds, I just mean if you're a cash buyer, if you've sold your home or whatever, which is what a lot of people are, like, I still have to have proof of funds.
Right.
I still have to be able to prove to that seller.
Your bank has to just say, like, hey, they have the funds that exceed the cost of this house, or they can purchase this house at this address, and we can verify that. Like,
right.
No one's asking for how much money do you make. That's between you and your lender and you and your banking professional. But like, a seller is not taking their home off the market for you to go essentially check your bank account while there's a bunch of people in line behind you. You're at the cash register, like, let me call my bank up and like, let me see if there's enough money on my debit card. Like, that's not how that works. That's not how you buy things. And frankly, as I've helped people when I list homes, and I'm sure as you've helped them, if someone submits something without a pre-approval and I've got 8 offers in front of me, the 2 without pre-approvals, like, I'm not even bothered. I'm like, hey, these don't have pre-approvals. I wouldn't recommend you do that, because who wants to get their house tied up in something that may or may not happen?
Right.
You know?
One of the things that I just highly suggest that every buyer do is have a consultation with their realtor. A year ago, 2 years ago, I could go in and I could sit down and have a consultation with a buyer, and I would sit there and we would go over their wants and their needs. Mm-hmm. And again, you know, expectations is a big thing. What are you expecting? And I could tell them during that consultation, when we find this home, this 80% home, right? So that's my rule, is there's no such thing as 100% home. Even if you build it,
you're still
it's going to have some things you wish you changed. So when we find your 80% home, the timeline is going to be 4 to 6 weeks from the time that we find it, go under contract, and close. And that was a very realistic expectation.
Right.
And I mean, very easily could go in, do a search, maybe spend a little bit of time looking at homes, but on average, you know, I know that my numbers, I could show on average 7 to 9 homes was
Mm-hmm.
kind of where it was when my buyers were able to find the one.
Yeah.
obviously there's an average. Some people go above that.
Yeah.
and some people would look at way less. And
Right.
but so you try to keep it, and again, it was just, this is what we're looking at. These are kind of the things. But 7 homes to look at now, I don't feel like is going to get us close. I feel like we're probably going to be writing 7 offers.
Yes. And I've come into the real estate market as a professional as things were changing into that type of situation. There was one gentleman I helped for a year, and that wasn't because it literally took us a year of searching. He kind of put some things on pause. He had some life circumstances that were changing or possibly changing, and there's always reasons to wait. We're not advocating for go and spend your money. That's not the takeaway here. But when he did pick up his search again and was ready and was like, okay, I'm staying in Lexington, I know what's going on, we wrote 9 offers, and it was that 9th one that finally won. And it wasn't because he didn't have good buying power. He was fighting against cash buyers. He was fighting against people that don't want inspections, don't need them, and he's like, it's my first house, I want it inspected, I want to know what's going on. And it was 9 offers late for him, and that's not including from when we first started and he was putting in offers before he stopped his search.
You may have to necessarily wait because the supply is not there.
Right.
However, don't stop
the search, and the ability to go out and write that offer, because you may actually be looking for 6 months.
Right.
Or 3 or 8.
But I didn't create the market. You didn't create the market. The economy has kind of created, a lot of varying factors have created it. I'm here to help you navigate through that market.
Right.
And what are you expecting me to write 1 offer and that's it? And we did all the things, we skipped this and we did that, and so is everyone else.
Yeah. It's
not just you, and it's not because that I'm not really good at writing contracts or negotiating. It's that the competitiveness is, there's a saturation of people that are trying to get one goal. What does homeownership mean to you?
Right, is it a good place for your kids? Is it being close to work? Is it a place to entertain because you're party animal, which is great, I'm all for that, but what is your reason for buying a home? And that's what we're trying to find for you.
Exactly. So we're not just trying to stick you in there and be transactional and okay, thanks, great, you're done, and then 5 years from now, well, this is, that you go to sell your home, all of a sudden you don't have warm fuzzies when you think of Stephen or Violet. It's because you felt like you were put into a home, and that's not what we want to do. We want you to just have a good reality of what's taking place, what the market is.
It'll pay to have somebody who knows what they're doing, who understands the market, and who's trying to help you understand the market. Not trying to make you an expert, but just trying to let you know how the market is going to affect your situation and getting to your goal. I think this is a good place to stop. This may have been 2 parts. I don't know.
It probably was.
It probably was.
It's us. I'm sorry.
It's fine. This is the first one. I don't know where this whole little series is gonna go, but I thought that we needed to spend some time talking about buyers, because there are lots of them. There are a lot of them.
A lot of buyers.
And
a lot of frustration.
Yep.
And a lot of expectations that aren't being communicated. I think that's kind of in there. Let's learn to communicate better with one another.
Yeah.
And communication is listening.
Right.
So I listen to my buyers, you listen to your buyers. Listen to us. We want to help you.
Yeah.
That's
and it doesn't mean that at the end of the day, if at the end of the day you're we're going to do 50% of ask, it's our job to write it down. I'll tell you, I don't know how Violet feels about this, but I always tell my buyers, if this is the route you take, I'm going to absolutely call that listing agent. I'm going to let them know that I advised you not to put in an offer 50% below ask, but this is what they want to do. So if at the end of the day you don't want to take the advice, that's 100% A-okay, because it's your money, your marriage, your life, your goals, whatever.
It is about you.
It is about you, but just know that you're going to be on that island by yourself when you get disappointed for that outcome. And I'll be there
but he
to
set
help
the
you.
expectation
help you
not
come back.
for you not to
Yeah.
know that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because it's just not a reality.
I'm going to give you all the information, but if you want to go against the information, that's cool. Just understand that I'll help you wipe up the tears of disappointment, but I will take zero accountability for that one. I
it's
just
you're a
won't.
professional and you know. You
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
I think we should I hope that if people watch it and they enjoy
Yeah.
it, and like either way, I enjoyed myself, and
Well, cheers to
cheers
that.
to that, and we'll see you next time.
I hope. Bye. Hey, so thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts or questions, tag someone, or leave a comment below.